defense by 2024. NATO estimates that as of early 2023, 10 of its 30 member states were close to that 2% mark. Cindy Sain, VOA News, the State Department.
More at voanews.com. This is VOA News. U.S. President Joe Biden welcomed Jordan's King Abdullah II to the White House for talks on how to end a months-long war in Gaza and plan for what comes afterward. U.S. House Speaker Mike Johnson is sharply criticizing a $95.3 billion aid package for Ukraine, Israel, and other countries, casting serious doubts about the future of the package. Senate leaders trying to send a message that the U.S. remains committed to its allies were looking to overcome marathon speeches from a determined group of Republican senators and hold a vote to pass the bill in the early morning hours Tuesday. U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin, who was hospitalized for a second time this week from surgery he received to address prostate cancer, is expected to return to work soon. But according to Pentagon spokesman Major General Pat Ryder, Austin will not be traveling to Brussels for Ukraine and NATO meetings.
Secretary Austin will no longer travel to Brussels this week as originally scheduled. However, Wednesday's Ukraine Defense Contact Group will continue, albeit virtually. Secretary Austin currently intends to participate in a virtual UDCG. He will remain flexible depending on his healthcare status.
Austin was taken to Walter Reed National Military Medical Center on Sunday, where he underwent non-surgical procedure under general anesthesia. Austin transferred his authorities to Deputy Defense Secretary Kathleen Hicks on Sunday. AP's Lisa Dwyer reports on how the nation's classified documents are handled and will be getting closer scrutiny.
President Joe Biden has launched a task force aimed at addressing the systemic problem of mishandling classified information during presidential transitions. Just days after a sharply worded Justice Department special counsel's report that says that President Joe Biden mishandled classified documents, Biden has announced the formation of a presidential records transition task force to study past transitions to determine best practices for safeguarding classified information. Officials of multiple administrations have said there is a systemic problem with mishandling of classified information, particularly around senior-level transitions. By law, sensitive information should be kept with the National Archives and Records Administration. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
Pakistan's parliamentary elections still have no clear winner. None of the country's three biggest parties secured enough seats to form a government on their own, so they have to enter a coalition. The party of imprisoned ex-Prime Minister Imran Khan does not want or need an alliance. Talks are already underway among its rivals to shore up enough seats to control a majority. People are angry about the election results and alleging that pre-poll rigging, legal challenges have started in some constituencies. I'm Dominic Neal, VOA News.
It is the 13th day of February 2024. Very good afternoon, listeners of Bunyoro Broadcasting Services 98.2 FM, and welcome to the lunchtime bulletin. But before a look at what has made the stories. Local Council 1 leaders warned against recommending wrong people for recruitment into the police force. A 32-year-old woman arrested for self-kidnap. A more heightened screening at the Uganda-Southern Sudan border arising from cholera outbreak. Ayamba Gonza Frederick Mandela to weigh in the insight of the stories. The Police Community Liaisons Officer in charge of Rwenzori Region Assistant Superintendent of Police, Solomon Mugisa, has warned local council 1 chairpersons in the country against recommending people who recruit into the Uganda Police Force. Mugisa sounded the warning at an interview with Bunyoro Broadcasting Services last evening, saying local council 1 chairpersons have in the past recommended wrong people for recruitment into the Uganda Police Force who continue with their evil acts after joining, something he said tarnishes the image of the force. The police officer called upon Ugandans to join the force so so that they can serve their nation as well as getting employed. Uganda Police Force recently announced the recruitment of 2,500 probationer police constables, and the applicants must be Ugandan citizens of sound conduct, aged between 18 to 23 years, and with a senior force certificate. In Kampala, a joint security team has arrested a 32-year-old woman for self-kidnapped with intention to extort money from her relatives. The suspect now in custody is Zainabu Karungi, a businesswoman of railway sale in Kasese municipality in Kasese district. According to the Senior Commissioner of Police, Fred Enanga, the police spokesperson, the arrested the suspect faked a kidnap on the 8th day of February 2024 and called her mother, claiming that she and another female victim had been arrested by 8 armed men near Kikorongo within the Queen Elizabeth National Park, whereas not. Enanga adds that Karungi also claimed that their abductors were demanding money in order to set her free. Enanga noted it was wrong for her to misuse the image of the national park and for giving false information to the police. The police officer revealed that using advanced surveillance methods, the task team located her at her hiding in a room at Margarita Street in Kasese municipality and arrested her. Enanga added Karungi will be arraigned in court for self-kidnap and giving false information to the police. Amuru district has scaled up the mandatory screening of travelers entering Uganda through the Elegu border point from southern Sudan over a cholera outbreak. This comes after 4 Sudanese asylum seekers who had crossed into the country through Elegu on 26th of January tested positive for cholera. The patients were part of the 14 asylum seekers who had fled the ongoing conflict in the Sudan's capital, Khartoum. 4 of the confirmed cases and 9 other contacts were hospitalized at Nyamanzi Health Center 3 in the Adjumani district. Lois Patrick Lamont, the port health focal person at Elegu border, said in an interview that while screening has been going on routinely, the level of surveillance and vigilance has now been heightened following confirmed cholera cases. Lamont says there has been a high influx of asylum seekers from southern Sudan, which has necessitated the need to heighten surveillance at the border point. According to him, they screen 50 to 100 Sudanese asylum seekers daily, escaping violence in parts of southern Sudan. Lamont notes that they have also been able to receive 100 consignment of rapid diagnostic tests kits to boost testing of suspected cases of cholera at the border point. Equally, the Health Ministry also dispatched 100 test kits to Adjumani Health Department. Amuru District Health Officer Dr. Alfred Okello says while the district is striving to ensure that everyone entering through the border is screened, manpower shortage remains a big challenge with efforts. He says that medical personnel haven't reported any new or suspected cases of cholera, adding that the 12 suspects who were undergoing treatment in Adjumani district were discharged last week. And now, before the end of the news bulletin, a look at what has made the stories. Local council and leaders warned against recommending wrong people for recruitment into the forces. 32-year-old woman arrested for self-kidnap, and Amuru heightened screening at the Uganda-Southern Sudanese border. That has been the end of the news on BBS 98.2 FM. Stay tuned.
Hello, Uganda. We've got exciting news. Postbank has